3:55. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 22nd, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from January 22nd, 2019, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on January 26th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from January 26th, 2019, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
The motion passes with one abstention. Are there any additions or deletions? I just need to add under correspondence, Grace Cottage request on 5K run. Okay, no other additions or deletions? All right, then let's go ahead and do the warrants.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1 payroll in the amount of $11,464.78. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll warrant number 1 in the amount of $11,464.78, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2 payroll taxes in the amount of $5,150.26. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll tax warrant number 2 in the amount of $5,150.26, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3 out of the general fund in the amount of $6,146.51. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $6,146.51, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of the general fund in the amount of $4,385.46. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 4 in the amount of $4,385.46, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the general fund in the amount of $6,142.50. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 5 in the amount of $6,142.50, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $63,762. Second.
Any discussion?
This is the new truck.
Yes.
Right.
New truck.
Anything else? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment fund warrant number 6 in the amount of $63,762, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 7 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $5,328.73. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment fund warrant number 7 in the amount of $5,328.73, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 8 out of the highway fund in the amount of $8,548.38. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 8 in the amount of $8,548.38, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 9 out of the highway fund in the amount of $9,752.02. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 9 in the amount of $9,752.02, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 10 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,650.46. Second.
Is there any discussion?
So the backhoe part of it, was that an AC compressor? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yes. So serpentine belt AC compressor.
So it's seized up on the backhoe when we were using it. This is going back to, I think, early December. And because it's a one belt system,
Some one thing
can't
seizes
run
it.
without
Yeah.
the AC compressor.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 10 in the amount of $1,650.46 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So, let's see, what am I doing here? Entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order and move to members of the public.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Are you together or are you no? Okay, then I will let you introduce yourself and.
Hi, I'm C.J. King from Grace Cottage.
Okay.
And I was asked to bring something to Crystal, but you have started the meeting, so I didn't want to interrupt. This is our page for the town report. Do you want me to just leave it to you and leave that? Is there anything?
We just got approved back.
Yeah, my understanding, the reason that we didn't submit it is my understanding was that these weren't included anymore, but I hear now from Anita that that was just a one-year time, a couple of years ago. And so if, you know, I can give this to you if it's helpful.
I would just.
Sure.
And are you
We can
Will?
take it. Yeah, no.
Do you want me to email this to you?
Sure.
Okay, can I get your email
Yeah,
address?
it's VT Will Bis, BIS. That's good enough. There you go.
Let's see. LBISS
At Gmail.
at gmail.com. You're not gonna be able to read that. VT.
BISS.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Marshall.
Hey, okay. I'm here for the Historical Society to update you on what we've been doing regarding the Stone Arch Bridges. Thank you for putting the article in, the warning, Article 10, I believe. I can't emphasize the importance of it in order for us to proceed with anything else, or much of anything else.
Before you go too much further, can we just have a real quick discussion? I hadn't seen the paperwork on your grant proposals at the time you handed it to Steve.
We haven't handed any in because all of them require some show of town support.
Right, but I believe one of the items that have been identified is a small structures grant.
That's not a private grant, that's a public grant.
That's out of V-Trans, correct?
Right, I got that coming up on my list.
Okay, well, the one thing I just want to ask you about, and this will be a discussion for town meeting, is we currently have a bridge that's under engineering study, which is Bridge 61. That's
41.
Excuse me, 41. That's exactly the same structures grant that the town will be applying for that particular bridge. They won't let us have two.
That's incorrect. We've been instructed to submit a second application based on an emergency request. And I have the form here. I'd like to give it to you and consider, we didn't know who the contact person is to do the paperwork, but we'd like you to turn it in, and V-Trans has asked us to do that.
To apply for a second structures grant.
Based on emergency. The second one, the first one goes as a normal grant, the second one is for emergency purposes, and then it's up to V-Trans if they want to pursue it based on funding. But if we don't apply, there's no consideration until the following year.
Well, that grant can't go in until after the question is answered at town meeting. I don't
Correct.
believe, Janet. Okay.
Correct.
So they have to have a show of support from the town
Yes.
before they'll consider it.
Yes.
All right.
But I have a copy. Lee Petty's the contact person, And she's talked with V-Trans, and they're willing to work with her, and they're the ones that encouraged her to ask us to go forward, or ask you to go forward with it. So I have that here, on my list. The basic concept of the town support on Article 10 is we can't apply for private funding from the Preservation Trust or the Wyndham Foundation without showing some town support. When the town support comes up, then we can apply for a whole bunch of private funding grants, which we intend to do. In fact, we've got some of the paperwork filled out. We just have to wait till after town meeting to send them in. Okay, well that takes care of two things then. When I was here before, I mentioned that I had had a conversation with a heavy truck driver about the bridge. And the truck driver indicated that he didn't know it was a stone bridge. He thought it was a cement bridge because the sides are cement. One of the critical factors in all of the stone arch bridges is vibration caused by trucks, heavy trucks braking, cars too, but certainly trucks. So I mentioned to him, I said, well, if you didn't know that, do you think your company would be offended if we sent them a letter just saying that? And he seemed to think it was a good idea. So that was the impetus for a draft letter that I just want to hand to you. We'd like the select board to sign it along with the Historical Society, but if they don't feel they want to do that, then the Historical Society is probably going to send it anyway at some point. It's not something that has to be done today or tomorrow, but I have copies of that to give to you to consider in reference to heavy trucks using the bridge. Since we last met, we had a meeting with the Stone Trust, which is out of the Scott Farm. That is a group of professionals that have classes in stone construction, dry stone construction. We've proposed a partnership with them, and they're intrigued, and they have to present it to their board of directors. It's a private organization made up of members who are stonemasons. And then the classes that they do are usually held at the Scott Farm, but they also do stuff out in the field. And we're proposing that they partner with the Historical Society to do a demonstration project at one of the bridges that's not one of the highway bridges. It's one that, you know, won't have to affect traffic because it's not being used as traffic. And they're proposing that. We haven't heard whether they're going to. I've asked them if they could let us know by town meeting, so when we give a little lab at town meeting, we can say this is happening or not happening. It's things that would be done in the summer as like a demonstration project. Currently, as of the other day, we've raised about $6,000, mostly selling these things that are out in the display case here. Cards and puzzles. Christmas was quite generous to us. So we're going to order some more, and we're going to keep doing that. And we're thinking of changing the image so people, you know, oh, you got to buy another puzzle because you don't have that one. You know,
Collect all four.
like a collectible, yeah. So that's that. We'd like to ask if we could have a table at town meeting to display our stuff. And you don't have to decide that now.
It shouldn't be an issue. There's no election this year, so that back
Okay.
area would be relatively
So I
clear.
take that as a yes now?
I would assume so.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who's asked for room.
All right, so if we want to set up a little display there. Okay, well, that's pretty much on my list, what I was asked. These are the, I think I got one for everybody, the draft of the letter. And all you just let me know, or Lee has this, she's much better at saving these sort of things on the computer than I am, so it can be edited or changed.
Thank you.
And I've made a list of potential companies that, I mean, we're talking about the obvious ones like Sersasimo, Coda and Coda. The people I talked to were fuel truck people, and just for the, I don't, maybe I said this before, but I asked the guy, fully loaded, what's his truck weigh? He said 40,000 pounds. It was a fuel truck. And, well, that's pretty much over the limit of the road anyway, even if it's not posted. So it was just surprising to him of the construction. So I said we might do this, and he said, well, I'm going to tell my manager that he might be receiving a letter like this from either the town or the Historical Society. I mean, we'll send it out. We just like, you know, the support of the select board for sending it out. And then the V-Trans thing here, this is what Lee, this is a draft. It's what Lee filled out as best she could in discussion with V-Trans and answering some of the questions. And
So she spoke to Megan Brunk?
yes. And so if the town's willing to do that, the worst that could happen is they say no. And I'm pretty sure, based on the conversation, that none of this would affect the application that the town's gonna do. We already knew about that before. We were told, you know, that they were gonna do one for it was on West Hill, another
Yeah.
bridge on
Yeah.
West Hill.
The normal ones, it's once every 5 years we can apply for them, generally, barring emergency.
There's some kind of a rotating timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I found out at least through the fire department, because we've applied for a number of fire pond, you know, dry hydrants. And we've been told by the people that, number one, we fill out our stuff, we do it, and we follow through with what we say we're gonna do. And that means something with the people that are giving these grants out, that some towns obviously don't do that. And they get rejected because they don't do what they were supposed to do when they filled out the application. So I think Townsend has a pretty good reputation for following through on the.
We do lately.
Huh?
We do lately.
Yeah, on the stuff that we're doing. So, you know, I think there's no harm in doing it, and if they say yes, that's a good thing. And then I suppose if they say no, we can just keep it and apply, you know, another year. But if we don't do it now, then we're a year away.
Do you know if Lee had a conversation with Ms. Brunk about whether or not there had to be a quote-unquote engineering study done before they would approve the request?
I think, don't quote me on this, someone should probably talk to Lee, because she had the conversation with V-Trans on this. I think they are accepting Michael's report for the need, for the emergency aspect of what has to happen.
Because one of the things she's checked off here, which for those of us who've been down this road before, is that she says there's a possibility that they'll be doing excavation within the river stream. And that's in and of itself has all kinds of
It's a whole
implications
other
with
kettle of
A&R.
worms.
I think we had to check that off because of the steepness of the, you know, that there's already, well, in fact, according to Michael, there's already stones that were part of the, you know, the.
So you're talking about putting the stones back as opposed to doing excavation?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
In the stream?
Oh, you mean putting a piece of equipment in the stream?
Well, working with.
Well, they're talking about excavation.
No, I don't think we're doing that.
Yeah, most of that is that you have to do it in a certain timeline. After a certain date.
Before
like
October or something.
Before October 1st.
What?
And Megan Brunk, I believe, has already been out to the bridge. She was invited to go out with.
Yeah, she was on.
She was out there with
The
doing one of the
impression
stones.
I got was that there are stones that have fallen down in that would have, that they would want to pull back up
Right.
and use. I mean, it's kind of up to the stone guy. It's possible that, no, let's just bring in some stones from someplace else. You know, that's way out of my league. But I was up there when Michael was working, and I know what he's talking about.
There's that lovely little question. Steve, does the municipality have a current network inventory?
Is that what?
Yes, we do.
Have
Yes,
a
we do.
current network inventory?
Oh,
Because we're not eligible for the grant if we don't have one.
You've got a couple of network inventories now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
okay.
Be
I
finding out
think
how
so.
good they are pretty soon, I assume.
I think that's all that's on my list.
Alrighty, well, we'll get back to you on the letter then.
Okay.
And, try to piece together some additional information on this bridge,
I
although,
would guess on the V-Trans thing, the best thing to do would be to contact Lee Petty.
well, until we know what they say upstairs, we probably won't move forward with this.
Okay.
So that after the voters have their
Okay.
say, then we'll follow through with whatever we need
Okay.
to get from Lee in the way of
Okay.
information or whatnot. That sounds like a plan? Okay.
All right.
So is that it, or do you have another hat?
No, I have no hats. No more.
Only one hat
Just
tonight.
one. Or a little gold. You want me to go on for
Oh,
an
if you
hour or
want,
something?
you know.
Well,
Okay, well then, thank you very much for that.
I would say, we might have to have a conversation, after town meeting, when we haven't had a cemetery meeting, we don't have them in, January and February. We might have to have a little discussion about private cemeteries. I believe it's gonna come up again. So it might be, we might need to get on the same page and everything. This is getting to be a trend around the state. Everybody wants to bury somebody in their flower pot out in the backyard, so,
It's cheaper.
yeah. I guess.
So they want help digging the hole?
Maybe the new part is that they're
I'm
tongues.
available. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
All right, then moving back up to the highway. Steve, is there anything that up and coming that we need to be aware of?
Well, I'll just mention, it was brought up during the warrants that we did receive the new Dodge last Wednesday. It got its first workout last night and this morning. Everything's good so far. Saturday, it's going to get its doors lettered. Jeremy and I both went to Flagler School and got our certificates. And earlier this week, we did some pothole repair work on Route 35, which was in need of some repair. We had some bad potholes this year with the hot and the cold and the ice and the water. We're having a lot of problems with potholes. So we did start this week, and weather permitting, we will continue with that.
Okay, any other questions?
No?
No? Is it gonna stop raining and freezing?
Not this weekend.
No, okay, sorry.
Yeah, apparently we've inherited DC's what?
Have we?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a good place to be. Town clerk, you should have all gotten a copy of the counter money for the month. And before we ask for the numbers from the treasurer, I do want to just ask, did a warrant ever get typed up or instructions ever typed up for the treasurer to move the
I was
money?
about to ask you that when you were reading the warrants, but if you don't have it on your clipboard,
I did
she
not.
didn't give it to you. then
I
don't
didn't
know
have a
what it is.
clipboard.
Okay, well, it's not on the clipboard, it should have been in the warrants or in
It
the
wasn't,
box.
it wasn't in the warrant.
I've asked her, we'll get it. I've asked her, I don't know how many times the last 2 weeks.
Because we're supposed to be returning, what, $54,614?
The 63, I think you all have,
1674.
I think you all have a TD Bank statement. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But the money we spent out of the general fund for the Kubota tractor and the money that we just spent out of the general fund for the Dodge truck should be coming out of the equipment fund. And there is a sufficient balance in the equipment fund right now to pay both of them and leave you with $5,000 left over. So both of those should get paid off by having the treasurer go to Brattleboro and withdraw that money and place it back into the general fund at People's Bank. So that was kind of the plan on this. We only borrowed 20 for the Dodge, or we only raised 20 for the Dodge. And then the rest of it was going to come from the equipment.
Yeah.
So could we follow through with the?
But we can follow through. It should be, we did the numbers last week. I know.
Okay, well, I didn't see the warrants, that's why I made a
Okay.
note on it
Yep, okay.
to move forward. Okay, so did Joe give you the,
I was gonna ask about that on the treasurer's report. I'm glad you did. Let's see. In the sweep account, as of, I guess, yesterday, we got $859,123.02. And the checking account, you have $30,000.
Okay, any questions on that? Then under correspondence, you have law enforcement, but I have nothing from law enforcement.
You did.
I had,
It should have been just a.
Oh, we talking about the report?
It wasn't much. It was
yeah,
just
just
the
a,
email sheet.
yeah.
That's that wood.
Total fines of $659.
Yep.
Total tickets.
So that's town contractor.
Yeah.
No, I don't, that's what I don't have.
Okay. Well, maybe you took it home, or maybe I didn't give you one for some reason.
No, okay.
Did you get one of these?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
So this is the balance of the bank right now. That's what I spent on the Dodge. That's what I spent on the bonds.
So nobody's been going fast except for Craig, huh?
That's it. I got one.
Oh, and Susan.
Oh, that's right, we got both.
So can I just ask before we move on to the police, so who is responsible for following up with the treasurer to make sure this activity actually happens?
The select board would simply ask the treasurer to go retrieve that money. What I've done in the last 5 years is have the bookkeeper or me, whatever, we type up an actual warrant that you guys sign, which is an instruction to the treasurer to,
Take that money.
and that leaves an audit paper trail behind. Is what it
That
does.
hasn't happened yet. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it gives him the amount and reminds him to do it.
So it looks like we took in, speeding, well,
Not much.
not much,
No,
Hard to believe.
yeah.
yeah.
I would think they'd get more than that out of just Craig.
The
Anyway,
next time they will, believe
oh,
me.
okay. Then moving on to what I added, and that was the request from Grace Cottage to use the common for their 5K run, and that is on May 11th. And we need to approve it or disapprove and decide whether or not there's a fee and et cetera. I mean, we have to go down the list, so I would entertain a motion to approve the request to use the common for the 5K run on May 11th.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that?
The application is complete.
Except that we don't have yet, and I'm sure we're going to get it anyway for Fair Days, we don't have the insurance certificate.
Right,
Yet.
that would come closer.
But, yeah, and whether or not there's going to be a usage fee to use the common for those are the two things that we need to decide.
Okay. And,
So right now, the motion is for just to approve.
right.
So is there any further discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving the request to use the common on May 11th for a 5K run, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Okay, so please note, in the minutes, well, no, we're gonna do the other one too. Please note in the minutes that Crystal abstained.
One section. Yeah.
No, I specifically, I want it named. I want it named.
Usually don't, but I will.
Well,
Well, it's on.
Thank you.
okay, so it approves, so today is the 13th.
13.
It is 13.
13. Tomorrow's a big day, 14.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so we've approved that. Now the question is do we want to require them to pay the
Was it a
fee?
$100 fee?
I don't
Is that what was
remember.
in
I think it is what it is.
It's
I think I-
$100.
You should, or if you want, I'll get a copy.
That's just their starting and ending, or is that their ending point?
It is their beginning and the end of the race.
Staging.
and
The
they
staging
use-
area.
Staging area.
They use a corner.
T-shirts and awards and finish line.
Corner of the column with a tent, and they're off the second morning event. And the town common rental is $100.
Is it? Okay. So I'd entertain a motion on the fee for the common? How much?
$100.
Okay, so there's a motion to charge $100 for the use of the common.
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of charging $100 for the use of the common for the 5K run, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Again, his
Again, who
name.
made the motion?
Steve, and then second by Rob. Motion passes. So, if you could, is it gonna be easier to send this back to you, or is it?
I'm happy to carry it back if you want.
Okay, the one thing that we'll need is when they send their certificate in, please include a copy of this with it so that we can keep it all together in a book. No, there's no
pardon me.
security.
Pardon me,
Yeah.
right.
Do you want another copy of the policy to go with it, or no? What's that?
I think they've seen it,
There,
they have
yeah.
both
There's
policies.
a copy of
Yeah. Okay, so on that note, and under correspondence and all of this tying together, the old business common, fair days common use, we received an email communication from a Townshend resident that basically says, after watching the Townshend Selectboard meeting held on January 22nd, 2019, I want it known that I feel there was a conflict of interest in allowing Ms. Mansfield to vote on a hospital issue. I do believe she is an employee of Grace Cottage, and allowing her to vote on an issue pertaining to said hospital or an affiliate of such is considered a conflict of interest. I also feel that Grace Cottage Hospital has outgrown the Townshend Common and feel it is time that they look for another location to hold their fair day. So, while Ms. Mansfield has absolutely no financial gain from her vote to allow the hospital to drive onto the common, I would suggest that we revote the approval for the allowance of allowing the vehicles to drive onto the common to do their setups and their takedowns, so that we can let her exclude herself from the vote, just to take out any questions.
I don't really see it as a conflict of interest, but sure.
It's not monetary, but that's Crystal's well aware of this was coming, and she's agreed to do this. So I would entertain a motion to reconsider whether or not to allow Grace Cottage Hospital to drive onto the common during setup and breakdown for fair days for limited use purposes of constructing the heavier wooden booths.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on that? No?
Didn't we go over this last year?
Which-
We went over it a couple weeks
A
ago.
couple weeks ago.
Well, I know, but we went over it last year too, and the year before, and the year before.
Okay, is there any other questions? Right, so all those in favor of allowing Grace Cottage Hospital to drive?
This is, the motion is to reconsider the allowance, okay? Yes. Motion to reconsider.
Well, okay, well, then we'll take it to two steps, so
Wait,
yes,
I
a motion
don't
to
know. Yeah,
reconsider.
that's what I wrote down. I can,
It was
You need
just
to-
do it in 2 steps.
Okay,
you need
so,
to affirm that you're gonna reconsider, right?
okay, so the motion is to reconsider it, all right? So all those in favor of reconsidering the decision signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
So, 4-1, it's been considered, it's to be reconsidered. Now, I'll entertain a motion to allow Grace Cottage Hospital to drive, I don't want to drive, to use motorized vehicles on the common for the limited purpose of constructing the heavier wooden booths.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on that?
Now, at one point, we had discussed
Oh, excuse me.
adopting the same policy as like the Newfane Common has, where nobody drives on there, right?
We did talk about it, yes.
Right.
Anybody, any other discussion on that? No? All right, so all those in favor of allowing the limited vehicle traffic on the common for setup and breakdown for Grace Cottage Fair Day signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions?
Aye.
I'll vote in the affirmative, the motion passes. So if you could let him know and just, again, I'll need the paperwork back on that for the book.
Now, when they make it all muddy, we don't hear any complaining about it, right? If they do.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be there looking.
The one thing that we do,
It's not about the
we,
trees.
we also did talk exclusively about stopping the ability to drive onto the common during the fair itself, which was where we were really having difficulties. So, okay, so that takes care of that. New business, the C.M.V. drug, alcohol, and driver's drug and alcohol policy, which is a booklet like this that I don't happen to have with me.
I have a copy of it's not the whole book, it's just the policy in the back that I wrote.
It's almost a book.
It's not nothing, I'll bring it up.
And I have a copy here, I do believe this is the one.
Yeah, I've read it, I just didn't.
Yeah, I sent you one without the draft.
You did not send me one without the draft.
No,
You said
see,
you
that's
take
what-
the-
that's
you
what
said
we're
you
kinda
take the draft
stuck.
off.
Oh, I
No,
thought I sent you one
You
without the
said,
draft.
you said you'd take it off when the time came.
Okay.
So, I mean.
Oh, right,
But
because we haven't adopted.
I just have, I
Gotta get
have a copy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's.
yeah, so this is the copy that has been vetted by Wade at VLCT. He feels that it complies with the statutes and covers us for the C.M.V. policy.
Alright, so if everybody's had a chance to look through this or whatever, I would entertain a motion to adopt the Townshend drug and alcohol policy for C.M.V. operators.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on it? So hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the Townshend drug and alcohol policy for C.M.V. operators signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Did you vote no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the motion passes. So you can get Craig a copy of this that.
With no watermark.
With
Yeah.
no watermark.
I will
And
send
we'll
that to
need-
you
Send me a
tonight.
copy and we'll get
we'll
signatures
need
and whatever.
signatures on it.
We'll post it, as of tomorrow, I want to notify,
Excellent.
and be approved.
All right, and then the other piece, I asked Craig to draw up a letter because our third year with Solon McCoy was this year on the financial audit. We need to put out an R.F.P. to get some bids from some other CPAs.
I didn't update that, but I did update it to December 1st, was one of the things you wanted to
Right,
update on
December
there.
1st, and
There was something else. And I didn't print a new copy and I didn't bring the computer with me. There were two things on there. One was December 1st for a deadline. And, change the email address. So, that was no big deal, it was no big deal.
right, so did they get copies of this?
No, I just gave it to you.
Okay,
and you and
so-
I talked about it and.
So right now, this one is specifically addressed to one of the CPAs that have we dealt with in the past, which is Sullivan and Powers. It says the town of Townsend is soliciting proposals for a professional audit of its FY19, July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 municipal finances. As our offices utilize NIMRIC software accounting systems, it shall be imperative that the CPA with whom Townsend contracts has experience with the NIMRIC systems. Records will become available during July and staff here can provide assistance on a flexible basis through November. The audit, however, will need to be completed by,
December 1st.
it was December, so you did
said-
change it.
You said December 1st, I said
Yeah.
December, yeah.
Okay, the deadline for proposals submissions is 4 p.m. on April 9th. For additional information, please contact Select Administrative Assistant, and then a way to get in touch with us. And then on behalf of the town of Townsend, I appreciate your consideration, signed by me. So if that's okay, we can certainly send this out to a list that we do have of CPAs.
Is April 9th the timeframe you want to use? That would be your first Tuesday in April, or your first meeting, second Tuesday in April.
I'm not sure.
That only gives, it's only a month, but I mean, it doesn't take people
Oh,
very
no,
long to figure
no,
it
but
out.
I'm just thinking of if after town meeting the date gets changed, I just wonder if we want something more generic than
Then a specific date.
a specific meeting night. So it's by April 15th?
Sure.
That'd be before however the meetings fall, that would also allow us to, move around, but still have the second meeting to approve it,
Yeah, that makes sense.
or do.
You may also get a proposal back, as you did last time, you got a proposal back on a 3-year contract.
Yeah, but we asked for that, as I recall.
Well, actually, it came back because it was gonna be less expensive to go a 3-year contract overall, than it would be on a year-to-year basis. But you may, I'm just saying, you may have apples and oranges to compare a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we change that date to April 15th, it's a little less specific, and
Change it to April 15th.
we'll go ahead and get those out to everybody, and see if we can get some bids for a new one. There is a need for an executive session tonight to discuss the interviews and/or resumes. So I'll just run through the meeting schedule. There is a special meeting tonight. There will be a pre-town meeting on February 26th, which is our regular meeting night, beginning at 6:30 or 6:15 p.m. The school has been invited, and the school will present their limited warrant first, or their limited warning first. And then we'll fill in after that. I don't expect it'll go too long, but we will begin the meeting with the pre-town meeting, and then we'll have a regular meeting thereafter to take care of any business.
The moderator's been contacted, we've been in discussion, they'll be here. But I'll let them know that the school's gonna,
So
the
those,
school board will be here first.
so those are the other meetings that are happening. Other business, is there anything else that needs attention?
I got a proof back from the printers today for town report, so we should have that buttoned up.
Was that electronic or paper?
Electronic. Yep, I sent it to you, sent it to Kathy.
I'll look at it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so I sent it to Anita.
Okay.
alrighty, so if there's any other business, then I'll entertain, I don't know what there's strike numbers on it. Motion to go into executive session to discuss,
313,
I don't think it is.
personal? No, maybe not.
No, yes, it is, 313A3. I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session under 1 VSA 313A3 to discuss the employment of an administrative assistant by this board.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.